This that
Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Red Panda Anthem.
In 2001, Apple released the iPod. Legendary iPod changed music forever. The iPod was $399 when it was first released. If you would have invested, put this on Instagram today and Twitter.
Amazing
If you would
post.
have invested $399, because that was the price of the iPod. So instead of buying an iPod, if you invest $399 in Apple stock in 2001, what would that be today? It would be $207,000.
Pretty penny.
$399 in 2001 would have grown to $207,000 today. So that's a lesson in buying good companies and holding them for a very long period of time. What we always talk about buy and hold, right? It's also a lesson in ultimately investing in companies as opposed to buying companies' products. You have you can't be an extremist, but we all know, like, it's always better to invest in Nike as opposed to buying. I know all the sneakers can be investments. I get it, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, right? It's always better to invest in companies as opposed to buying their products. So those are two lessons. But ultimately, people will say, well, that was 23 years ago. How is this helping me now? What is the next company? What should I do in 2023? So in 2045, I'm comfortable like that.
VOO, VTI, Apple, Microsoft, Eli Lilly. I can argue United Healthcare as well. Investing is really simple, man. Like, companies that are dominant continue to be so. Those that are not popular, and I know everyone's always like, well, how did you know back then it would have? We know every fucking thing that's hot, and then we want to question if it's hot or not. In 2001, when people was like, I went and bought Fab album, and then Jay moved his release date up a week early, when it got that too. Like, we know it's hot. Apple was one of the hottest. I remember everybody, I went to Indiana University. Everybody from New Jersey and New York had iPod. Y'all was one of them, like Rockefeller chains on campus. I'm like, damn, y'all rich as hell. Y'all got $400 on them. Right? Certain brands are going to last forever. So when people say that they don't know, people were having the same conversation in 01, 02, 03, when Mac had the colored backs for the
desktops.
Desktop, like,
yeah.
Certain companies are going to, like, normally a great company is going to have a 50-year span of solid growth. A great company, because we're one of the few communities who only thinks on a 6-month to 1-year basis. Most companies are planning 50 years at a time. Microsoft, same way. They won't go anywhere. Google, same way. Hopefully, at one point, Meta or Facebook was very promising to be like the next American iconic company. Not there anymore. But even if you look at Coca-Cola, Pepsi, two brands that have done historically well a long time, like, it doesn't matter. You just have to make the decision to stop being a consumer and to put your money into something long term. But Apple and Microsoft are going to do incredibly well over this next 30, 40-year period.
Well
Not
said.
the sexy answer everybody wants.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah.
It's the truth. Investing is, everyone put in chat, investing is not hard. And I put this on my story the other day, like, I got no messages at 11 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve about investing, except from one person. You have to live this shit every day. So yes, once again, I think Chat GPT is amazing. But if you go to ask Chat GPT, tell me the third biggest economy right now, and give me the 52nd best company that has a probability of being number two in 7 years, it won't pull that data for you, because some of the data that is input into that model is blocked. Go out here, find your edge in the market, find your edge in the business, write that goal, and go after it. Investing is probably one of the easiest things you can do. Look at the top 5 in the Dow 30 to tell you what to invest in. Will you put 50% of your money into it, though? As much money as I see y'all spend on Mike and Mary, and I'm going to say the Mike and Mary garbage.
Billie Jean.
Overrated.
Some
But
people-
kudos to him for running that bag up
I
on the culture.
smoke.
Come on, man.
Balenciaga dead. You know, people still wearing Balenciaga. That's the crazy thing about it. That's why I knew that. That's why I'm saying y'all arguing with me about this. People is not only are they wearing Balenciaga, they wearing a full-fledged Balenciaga, like with the Balenciaga over everything. It's like I spent this much money for it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get my money out of it. I'm gonna still wear this.
I'm gonna get my wares.
Like
I'm gonna get my wares.
that's alarming. It's alarming.
Yeah.
They hated Epstein and supported Balenciaga. And they're not the only fashion house that participates in those kind of activities and endeavors.
This is also true.
Pretty alarming, man.
Go do your research, please.
Well,
But what do I know?
what do you know?
What do you know?
2023, I'm not convincing nobody anything. If you're not rich, go watch every episode of Market Mondays, every tip, trick, hack, idea, model is there for you.
They said MG wears Balenciaga.
MG needs to stop. I hadn't
Who
seen
said
it.
that, yo?
They said
Yo, y'all gotta chill.
Y'all funny, yo.
Y'all gotta
I hadn't seen it.
Y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill, man.
Y'all funny.
It's all right, man.
Internet is undefeated.
It's undefeated.
Forgiveness,
You
y'all.
can't beat the internet.
Forgiveness, man.
You can't beat the internet.
Forgiveness.
You can't beat the internet. All right,
That's funny. But if that's true, burn that.
please.
It's a couple brands we need to get rid of.
Which ones?
That one. There's a couple other little fashion houses. I'll see everybody gave up on Kaepernick too. Can't wait for this Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, NFL's back. So
Speaking of which,
it's one of these things. People have short attention span. They don't care. Remember Gucci?
no, they just don't care.
They don't care.
They don't
Remember Gucci put
Yo.
the blackface on 3 times, and it's like when they have.
Which honestly, and ICE has always said it's one of the greatest campaigns. Outrage marketing.
Last Monday, we literally almost watched a man die on the field.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Like, thank God and praise God to him and his family as he still recovers. I know Damar Hamlin was released from the hospital today.
Yep.
But we literally watched a man die on the field. Saturday and Sunday.
Right back to it.
Right back to
This
it.
is America. This is
And the
Right back to
And
it.
the crazy part is, I saw a clip. Was it from the Pivot? Where there was like, he's not even vested yet. So if he gets cut,
no. Well, the thing is, and shout out to the Bills. They actually they're going to guarantee his contract for the duration. They worked with the Players Association.
Okay.
And that they don't
Okay.
have to do that though, because
They
it's not. But they said I think it's like $3 million, something like that. It's not
Okay.
a lot of money, but it's they're gonna guarantee his contract.
I
for
probably
the
make that in his jersey sales the next day.
Yeah, they're gonna make it. They're gonna guarantee his
Yeah,
contract.
man. And then, I mean, granted, everything he was doing for his community, I'm glad it got highlighted. That was, if there was a great sign from the tragedy that nearly happened, was the amount of work that he was doing in his community, and people got to highlight that. And I know his fundraiser that he had created 6 months ago, that the goal was 2,500, and they didn't even reach that. Now I think it got up to almost $9 million. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he can do with that and his foundation. So again, prayers go up to him in a full and healthy recovery to Damar Hamlin.
But at some point we gotta yeah. But at some point we gotta have a conversation about people's attention spans. Remember Gucci? Remember Montclair?
Mhm.
Remember Balenciaga? Remember the NFL? Remember Nike?
When,
It doesn't matter. No, because they're gonna come out with a cool scarf. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
when people care about drip and looking cute more so than they care about their own culture and skin, that's when people are like, what about this for the culture? I'm like, there is no culture.
It's
I
the
don't give a fuck
social,
about none
the
of
social and emotional. We said social and emotional investing. This is like we got to have like a social, emotional, and responsive shopping. We just it's whatever.
We just have some self-respect.
Black people don't care enough about being black to give a fuck about any of that. That's the truth. Now I'm glad. Now this is the part where I love when we had no sponsors.
No, we're gonna
Most
say
black people don't.
we're gonna
love
say
being
this for
black.
after hours. We're saving this for after hours.
All that cultural, generational, that shit sound good. You spending more money on tricking off or investing into the market?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because we met with somebody and they was like, at some point we got to have a conversation about people selling their company, because what's happening with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they're scared to sell their company because if they, when Black people sell their company, they get labeled as a sellout.
Oh, you sold out.
And it's like, but what happens if you don't sell your company? Nobody ever talks about that. Like when your company spirals downward and you lose 70% of the value, and now nobody's going to be there to champion you at that point in time. And it's like, okay, if you're going to complain about people selling their companies, but you're not buying their products, you're saying, okay, this clothing line sold this company, but in your closet is Nike, Balenciaga, Gucci. You might have one Black designer, might have two Black designers. Then you got a bunch of Ralph Lauren. You got all kinds of stuff. So it's like, on one hand, you're complaining about people selling their company, but on the other hand, you sold out yourself. You don't even have a company.
The family in California shouldn't have sold their damn property back to California though.
Oh, the Huntington Beach
for $20 million.
Did they? That's what they sold it for.
What? Took that shit right off their hands if I'd have known.
Well,
what?
In one ear, out the other, but it's what can you do? What can you do? You need money to live in this world. And sometimes when you don't have it, you got to make a decision.
Huge mistake. But what do I know? I'm just here to serve the people, be humble, and kill ego in real time.
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's
This
good?
that Red Panda Anthem.
Your
Whole
boy.
clip going up. I know they can't stand it.